Everybody, it's me again. And I'm filming this on my old Sony camera because my Zcam Cinema camera is at the shop. Now, when I say at the shop, you probably assume that it's down the street, this nice local establishment that works on cameras, but it's not. It's in Ohio. It's apparently on the bench right now and being tested, and we'll find out very soon if something is wrong with the camera or if something is wrong with me. This is really what I want to talk about today, even though I've been holding off filming anything because I don't have my good camera, and I like things to, I'm working towards everything getting better and better and better, and I feel like this is a step back, but that doesn't matter. So here's the thing. When I first ventured into the world of this new project, Me and My Muse, I knew that there was going to be a lot to do. And when you decide to venture into the realm of film, you have a lot of decisions to make. First, you have to decide, do I want to be on this side of the camera or do I want to be on that side of the camera? If you want to be on that side of the camera, you have to decide, do I want to be a director of photography? Do I want to be a camera operator? Do I want to be an editor, a colorist, a director? There are a lot of decisions to make. But when you embark on a project like I am working on, and I know other people that are doing similar, are in similar situations, you understand that you will be taking on a lot of those duties, if not all of those duties. So I am the director of photography, I am the editor, I am the colorist, I am the sound person, and in some situations I am the camera operator. I do have someone that is going to be working the camera, and they'll probably be doing that on a lot of the scenes, on all of the scenes that I'm in, and some of the scenes that I'm not in, although I know the first bit of filming will be done by me because I have a very specific vision of how I want. But at the same time, I've had to learn how to use a gimbal. I've had to learn how to use all of this other equipment, and it is crazy the amount of education you have to be able to do these things, and it is very likely that it's not a 50-50 chance that nothing is wrong with my camera and it's all on me. And if that's the case, I'm fine with it. I'm fine either way because I trust that the person that has the camera can fix it if something's wrong. And if something is not wrong with the camera, then I trust that I can figure out how to solve the issues that I'm having. And that's what I want to talk about today. When I first started having the issues with my Zcam, I spent a couple of days, probably a total of 10 hours, trying to figure out what the problem was. And eventually I came to the conclusion that I can't figure it out. I don't know enough of what I'm doing yet, and this problem is above my pay grade. And immediately, my first thought was, which is redundant, I've got to get help. So what I did, I'm a member of a Zcam E2F6 group on Facebook, which that's the make and model of the camera. So I got onto that group and I said, hey, everybody, I'm having problems. I need help. So I uploaded the footage, and over the next few days, I received tons of feedback, a lot of questions, same questions over and over again, and I answered them to the best of my ability. And I continued to experiment, try different FPS settings, different ISOs, different shutter speeds, different white balances, different lighting, you name it. I tried it. Couldn't figure out the problem. So eventually people started saying, okay, well, something's wrong with the camera, you need to send it in. So the next day, I boxed it up and sent it in. Of course, the day after that, the owner of the company that makes the camera sent me an email saying nothing's wrong with the camera. So I was like, okay, all right, okay. So after that, after I got that particular email from the owner of the company, I said, all right, I need to get ahead of this. In case there is nothing wrong with the camera, I have to get help. So I reached out to a friend of mine who lives in LA who studied film and has a lot of friends in the industry. And I said, what is wrong with this footage? What am I doing wrong? And he shared the footage with a director of photography, and they're looking at it, and they'll get back to me soon. Here's the deal. Here's why I'm talking to you right now. Because I think this is something that a lot of people out there need to understand. There is nothing wrong with asking for help. It does not make you look weak. It does not make you look inferior. It does not make you look small. It makes you look strong. And I say that particular thing for a reason. Because, and please, I hope that you don't take offense to this. Know that this is all coming from a place of kindness. But I know a lot of men who refuse, no matter the situation, refuse to ask for help. Because they were born and raised to understand that asking for help is weak. And it doesn't matter if you need help with something you don't understand, like me right now with this project, or if you find yourself in a state of emotional upheaval and can't get past it via your own devices. Especially that. I have been there. I have felt broken. I have been at the emotional rock bottom of my life. And when that happened, I asked for help. Because I knew that I did not have the capacity to solve those problems. I needed professional help. I got it, and they helped me. And I became a better person because of it. Not just because they helped me, but because I was willing to go, you know what? I need help. And that put me in a position of strength. Because I was willing to admit that I needed help. That I was willing to understand that I was not capable of dealing with that particular situation. And there was nothing wrong with that. And if you feel like you are in a state of emotional upheaval or mental upheaval, there is nothing wrong with asking for help. I was talking to a dear friend of mine this morning. And I won't get into the particulars as to what we were actually talking about, but whatever the conversation was, it led me to say that you can't always be the smartest person in the room. You can't always be the strongest person on the field. You can't always be the fastest person on the road. You can't always be the prettiest, the richest, the healthiest. You can't. If I were to walk into a room and Neil deGrasse Tyson is in that room, and I use Neil deGrasse Tyson because my old example used to be Stephen Hawking, may he rest in peace, so I don't use him anymore. So if I were to walk into a room and Neil deGrasse Tyson is in that room, I immediately understand my position. I know that I am not by a long shot, the smartest person in the room. So I just walk up to Neil deGrasse Tyson and I say, 1 + 1 = 2. That's as good as I got. Your turn. Teach me something. The idea of standing in a room with smarter people than me excites me because the potential. What can I learn from them? It's not about what. Now, okay, I almost said it's not about what they can learn from me. And that all of a sudden puts me in a position where I am a taker, not a giver. And I'm absolutely convinced that we can all learn from each other. I could walk into that room with Neil deGrasse Tyson and I could learn so much from him, but I'm sure that he would learn something from me as well. I'm sure that there's a bit of knowledge in here that I have that he does not have, and I would be more than willing to share it with him. That exchange of intellect and intelligence and information and ideas is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And if you walk into that room and you immediately think, I'm the smartest person in that room, there's not going to be any sharing going on. Not at all. And that's a tragic loss. And to walk into that room and immediately assume that you're the smartest person in the room is ego on another level. We are not always, we do not always have it together. We all go through moments where we feel broken. And sometimes we can struggle through those moments. But here's the thing. When you feel broken and you decide, I'm just going to muddle my way through this, when you get on the other side of it, you will find yourself with the same capabilities and tools you had before you walked through it. If you ask for help, who knows what you're going to have by the time you get through it. You may have the tools to get through that and so much more. If you walk into that room with Neil deGrasse Tyson and you automatically assume, hey, I can learn from this guy, you're going to walk out of that room having been educated with more information than you had before, with more tools than you had before, and that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. And if you find yourself, like me, in a situation where you can't figure out a problem, sure, that is great to try to spend some time figuring it out on your own. Do that. But at some point, you're going to have to realize, I can't do it. I need help. And that's where I found myself in last week. And not at no point in time did I feel shame in the fact that I had to reach out to somebody to say, hey, can you help me with this? Because I cannot figure it out. And the really, really cool thing is, since I started asking for help, and since people in that Facebook group and my friend and other people started communicating with me about this, I have learned a lot. I am already 2-3 steps ahead than I was before I admitted that I needed help. What more do you want? What more can you ask for? But I get it. I get this. I mean, I don't. I get it. I try very hard not to relate to this, but I get this idea of feeling weak when you need to ask for help. But try to retrain your mind into thinking that asking for help puts you in a position of strength, not weakness, because it takes strength to admit that you don't know what you're doing or you can't get through something emotionally or mentally. It takes strength to do that. And there's always going to be someone out there willing to help. And many times it won't cost you a penny. Sometimes it might if you need professional help. But again, there's no shame in that. So please, if you find yourself in a situation where you can't figure something out, and you've been beating your head against a wall, and nothing seems to stick, or nothing seems to land on those sulci in your brains, or if you find yourself in an emotional situation where your mind and your heart and your soul just can't break through, ask for help. Because in the end, you'll be much better off for it. On top of which, you probably have loved ones who depend on you, who need you, who want you to be healthy. And maybe you can just look at it that way, that you owe it to them, but you also owe it to yourself. Ask for help. Don't wait. Especially don't wait until it's too late. Because I've had people in my life, I've had family members who didn't ask for help, and they're no longer here. And had two of my brothers and my grandfather asked for help, they wouldn't have taken their own lives, and they would still be here with us. Well, not my grandfather, he would be about 100 years old, so. But my brothers would still be here. Anyway, I don't want to dive too deep down that rabbit hole because we'll all get really sad, and that's not what this is for. Anyway, thank you again for spending a little time with me. I realized that this might seem like a step backward for me technologically, or maybe not, who knows? This may look just fine. We'll see. But thank you for spending a little time with me. It means a great deal that you would do so, because there are so many people out there who are begging you for their time, for your time. And that you would give it to me means a great deal. Anyway, I hope that you and every loved one in your life has a wonderful, wonderful